Okay, I hope you are ready for the last step of publishing our first component. So let's add README to the NPM so that anyone who wants to use our component will be able to see how to use it. So let's make a code example. So we can use some subtitle, for example, usage, and then we do 3 backticks, JS, and again 3 backticks, and here in between we will make an example. So how does somebody use our component? They can require it from npm by running require input integer minus UI. This is my component. You have a unique name, so you will have to put here your unique name of component that you publish to npm. Then when we have this function that is being returned from our component, we can create the input. And this we do by running this function and passing in the options. So let's define the example options. This is an object with minimum 0, for example, and maximum 10. And then this input will be a DOM element, so we can append it, document body append. So we can document, append it to our document body. Okay, this is the example. And we also have our demo, which is basically the example of how you use code, but this is not visible here. So for making it visible when somebody lands on this components page, it has to be put into the README. But yeah, we also made a normal demo so that people can also see it as a GitHub page. So this is our example of how to use a component. Component otherwise lives in source index.js. So anyone who comes to this page and wants to see the source code can click the link to GitHub and then find the code under source index and then read it. Okay, so this was this. Demo will now also be able to require directly from npm input integer UI. So don't forget, again, you use your component's name. And here we will add one additional thing. If somebody forgets to put the options in or sets only minimum and maximum, we want to also set some default values for minimum and maximum. So we do that by saying in this deconstruction line, we can just set minimum to 0 and maximum to 1000, for example, if nothing else is being passed. If there is something being passed, like here, for example, this will be overwritten. So here it will just check, is there a minimum? If it's not, set it to 0. Is there a maximum? If it's not, set it to 1000. But we are always using minimum and maximum, so nothing will change. Okay, and the last thing, we actually have to install this module to be able to use it. npm install input minus integer minus UI minus minus save. So space minus minus save. So this will save this component under dependencies. And this happens if we run the npm install code with minus minus save. The other dependencies that are just like development dependencies, we save with minus minus save minus dev. But all the modules, all the UI components, we will usually install by as regular dependencies. So with minus minus save. Okay, so let's try if everything works. Yep, it works. So the component is now being required directly from npm. Okay, so the last thing left now is to push code to GitHub and then to publish it to npm. So because we will publish the new version, we should also update the version here. And then we can do our classic npm run build, git add, git commit. So we did update readme, install input integer UI, or whatever is the name of your component, and we add default opts. Okay, git push, and now we can run npm publish and publish the code also to npm. Everything seems fine. We have the example here. There is a link to our README, and we can see that we have two versions. The first version was without README, and the second version was with README and additional changes, of course. Fantastic. We have finished our first web component.